What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show where we talk about games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. I am one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined across the power of the internet by my co-host, Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. How are you this fine afternoon, I guess?
Fine, I guess. It's so just cold, and then it's also overcast, but
Yeah.
not in the way that's fun, like it's about to storm. It's just that
Just
dull,
dull,
gray, and
dreary,
it's just like,
yeah.
oh, I hate this.
Yesterday was the sunny and cold, which I'm here for. That always feels really good.
I
But this one
accidentally,
today is kind of like that dreary day.
I accidentally ran/walked way too far yesterday and ended up with like 7 miles, and I was like,
Oh,
I
damn.
I overdid it. Because I did that thing where I was like, I'm going to go for a run. And then I ran too far and I was like, I should have turned back a long time ago because there's no loop. You just have to eventually turn back around. It
Yeah.
was a mistake.
Oh no. Well, at least you got the, some extra calories burned, a little extra
Yeah.
exercise than what you were looking for. But that's not a terrible thing. But
Us
yeah,
gamers, we got to get our
I know,
exercise or our
we gotta get our
muscles will
exercise,
atrophy.
but we gotta slowly build into it. We can't just go nuts, or else
Yeah.
it's just not a good thing. It's just not a good thing at all. But you know what? That's neither here nor there because we're here now to talk about some video games here on Team Chat Podcast and got a little bit of an update for you. It's just become a little bit easier before I get into the normal spiel of the show. It's become a little bit easier based on our recording schedules. It usually works out for us to be able to record on Sunday mornings. Well, as you know, and as I've said many a time here on the spiel, that the episodes generally come out on Tuesday mornings. Well, I think we're going to have a little bit of a change there. And I'm going to say, because I don't know yet if I'm going to put this episode out on Tuesday morning or wait until the new release day. The new release days going forward from here on out are going to be Thursdays. So that we can still keep the fun little run of Team Chat Thursday instead of Team Chat Tuesday.
Team Chat
Gotta keep
Wednesday
that
would be way
important
too,
hashtag.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's just going to be easier with the production schedule and my schedule and everything going forward with editing and getting the show ready to release. That just to give myself a little bit more time, a little less of a headache, that we're going to change Team Chat from premiering on Tuesdays and instead releasing on Thursdays. And like I said, if this episode did come out on Tuesday, well, congratulations. This is the last one. If not, it's Thursday. Hey, welcome to the new release day.
Yeah.
But anyway, Team Chat Podcast from now on will be coming out on Thursday morning. So let those hit your podcast service wherever you're listening to it around the web, or they'll still drop as video version on our YouTube channel still on Thursdays as well. But if you want more Team Chat, well, you can find more Team Chat at our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Join our Discord server. We can have a lot of great fun talking to us there when we're not here recording the show. And finally, if you want to help support the show and make it bigger and better, you can head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, just like Elise F., Zach S., Mariah S., Susan M., James K., Ben W., Michael B., Fuchsia Rascal, Andrew M., Michael S., and Brandon W. have done. And they're going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast to support the show for as little as $1 a month. And in return, you get cool perks like getting the episodes early before its general Thursday release and access to any extra wow, that threw me off saying by Thursdays.
Yeah, they're really just
general
a
Thursday release. But still, you get the video and audio versions early depending on which tier you sign up for. You also get at the $5 tier, we'll get access to anything extra that we do. You get it early as well. So you can check that out over on patreon.com/teamchatpodcast. There's also advantages of being a Patreon, like getting patron-only emotes over on our Discord and Twitch channels. So all that stuff is good to check out as well. But if you don't want to do that, that's no big deal. We totally understand. And there are lots of other great ways that you can support the show, such as telling your friends, writing us reviews, and subscribing wherever you're listening to or watching the show. But you know what? We don't care. We just love that you're here listening, supporting the show. And for that, we are eternally grateful to all of our patrons, viewers, listeners alike. Heart emojis, carrying that through to the new year. Oh, you're slacking.
Yeah, I know.
Got you slacking.
Oops.
Oh my God. But anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. And with that, before we get into the main topic of the day, let's start with a little bit of news and what's coming out soon in our moment with Mogan.
Yeah, so games actually are still coming out somehow.
It's crazy,
even though
right?
It's 2022, it feels like they should have stopped by now. So as of the end of this month, just kind of wrapping up the end of January, we've got a couple more releases this week. So earlier before this episode's release, Ellie-Ho, A Wild West Tale, is out for iOS and Android of all things. If this isn't Fievel Goes West Redux, I'm going to be really annoyed. I really hope it's Fievel Goes West.
Fievel Goes West Redux.
So that's out for mobile devices on January 25th. The Artful Escape is getting its port to PlayStation 5, PS4, and Switch this week as well. I'm actually still really wanting to play that game. It was, I think, nominated for maybe Best Art Direction at the Game
Mhm.
Awards last year. It was Best Art Direction or maybe Best Indie. And I felt like, oh, or maybe it was Best Soundtrack because it's all about music. I
Oh,
don't
well, that makes
remember.
sense then.
The point is, it was nominated for something that seemed very applicable, and I really want to play it. Circuit Superstars is out for PS4 on the 27th. Daemon X Machina for PC is out on the 27th as well. Rounding out the very end of the month, we have one game that is absolute garbage, hot fire trash, and another game that might be a hot garbage fire trash. We're not sure. Those games are Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves
Legacy?
Legacy of Thieves collection, and it's the Uncharted sucks. Don't play. Biased review from Rachel Mogan. And then the other game that I'm actually kind of nervous about because I want it to be really good,
Yeah.
may or may not be, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So, or some people might say Arceus. I say Arceus.
I thought it was
Don't
Arceus,
at
so
me.
there we go.
Don't come for me. So not sure how it's going to turn out. I am a little bit worried about its performance and its graphics. So we'll see. I'm still willing to give it a solid try, but I probably will not be picking this up on release day. I'm going to kind of wait it out and
Yeah.
see what the consensus
See what
is
the
like before I
see what
dive
general
in.
thoughts are. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that.
exactly. All right, so that's what's coming out at the end of the month. Not a lot this time around.
Boom. There we go. Well, if you may have guessed, I mean, it's probably pretty easy to tell what we're most likely going to be talking about today, and well, some of our time today, and that is the big news that no one really cares about, in that Microsoft has purchased Activision Blizzard, or is in the beginning stages of purchasing Activision Blizzard for a tiny sum, minuscule amount of money, a sweet $68.7 billion is what this is going to be
Crazy
closing for.
amount.
That's an insane amount of money. So,
Also, it really sucks that they didn't throw a couple extra million in there to make it 69 billion. What a missed opportunity.
I like how you say a couple million more when in reality that's like another 300 million.
I don't do math. Don't just shut up.
Right?
Oh boy.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, it's
that's big news.
crazy, and I feel like they probably just did a really good job at keeping it under wraps, or I have so little interest in business dealings that I just never bothered to see maybe the rumblings of it. I feel like this came out of absolute nowhere.
I think
and I feel like
it came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody knew that this was
Yeah.
happening, because it
I don't
it
think
even
so
caught
either.
well, the biggest teller that it caught everybody by surprise is that Jason Schreier, writer for Bloomberg in video game news, he was on vacation. He wouldn't take vacation on this day on purpose.
Oh no.
And he even tweeted about that.
definitely
He's like,
wouldn't.
the one day I
That's a
take
good
vacation.
point. Oh, and it's like the bit that sucks for him because
I
he's
know,
such a
right?
good reporter and journalist, and it's like, oh, you kind of whoops.
Yeah, oopsies.
Reschedule that vacay, buddy. Come on back.
Yeah, because you're not getting it today for sure.
Oh, damn. I mean, who knows? Maybe the deal will fall through. It won't. It's like a done deal by now, but who knows? Maybe it'll fall
I mean,
through, and then
there
he
is
gets
still the
crack that
chance,
case
'cause-
instead.
I mean, there is still the chance, because it does have to pass a lot of regulatory inspections and everything, or investigations, make sure, because it is a big company already who's acquired a lot of companies, acquiring yet another big company. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff there. I know it's going under some scrutiny through both U.S. regulatory investigations and China as well. But the thing about it is, if this deal does close, it will be the third biggest video game company. Microsoft will be. It's the third biggest video game company in the world. So that
Who
is
would still be bigger than
pretty
them?
big.
Still Sony and Nintendo?
Sony and no, not Nintendo.
Not Nintendo.
Hold on, I have the list right here. I just got to pull it up. It is Sony, then Tencent, then Nintendo is number 3, but then Microsoft will be kicking it from that position now.
Will be number 3. Okay, that
Will
makes
be
sense.
number 3.
Well, so yeah, like I said, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this because on the one hand, Activision Blizzard, so the only game series that I can think of that I actively enjoy and play from Blizzard specifically
Hmm.
is Overwatch. That's really
Right.
kind of the only big Blizzard game that I've ever been like, yes, I'm all about this. I love this game. I played it for years consistently. Still go back every now and then and play it, right now because I'm like, yeah, I just feel like doing some shooting, I feel like some
Yeah.
Overwatch.
Some good team shooting.
But some of the other ones that they've been responsible for are things like the World of Warcraft, which is
Yeah.
massive, along with many other games that Blizzard is just, the titan of. So the fact that they're also getting acquired along with Activision does make me a little nervous about the fate specifically of Overwatch 2, because obviously
If it
it's
will
still in
be
development.
maintain its cross-platform.
Yeah, it'll probably maintain its cross-platform, but I do wonder how this might affect the development and how it might affect the trajectory of the game. Because when, companies get acquired, they get new leadership and they
Mhm.
have less control over, products that they maybe used to have full control over. So it might be little things like just tone, colors, graphics. Well, you could argue the graphics is a big thing, but who knows how it might change the game. On the other hand, it's kind of like a ha ha ha, this is wonderful news because Activision Blizzard is famously embroiled right now
Mhm.
in God knows how many lawsuits over its terrible gender discrimination. The
And
way that
sexual
it
harassment and just like
sexual
in general shitty
harassment,
behavior.
discrimination. Yeah, Activision Blizzard has been revealed in the past, what, 1 to 2 years, maybe longer than that,
Well, I mean,
by
the story of the big lawsuit and everything was just
yeah,
earlier, like a few months ago, like a couple
a
months
few
ago,
months ago.
September, I want to say.
Well,
So, like, it was, yeah, very recent.
my ability to quantify time right now is not great. But so on the one hand it's like, oh, I don't love this for a lot of reasons, but also it does kind of seem fitting that since they weren't able to keep their own shit in hand and since they weren't able to manage themselves in a way that is actually good for their employees,
Yeah.
they probably should get acquired. But
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't
it's,
necessarily mean that that's going to go away. These problems don't get
oh
solved
no.
overnight.
Right. And I mean, and I think that was the big thing. Like, as soon as I saw this news, I was like, oh, Bobby Kotick is done. Like, there's no way.
Oh
And then, like, there was then, but even though there was still throughout the day a lot of back and forth of some people be like, no, he's not gonna be gone. Actually, they're gonna keep working together. And then there's a whole lot of, well, he's gonna be gone until the merger goes through, which it seems to be how it's actually
that
staying.
seems accurate to me.
Because I mean, even though yes, I understand, like trying to he should have been gone yesterday.
He should
So,
have.
that's
Activision
the whole
Blizzard.
thing.
Yeah, Activision
He should have
should
been
have
gone a
solved this
long time
problem
ago. So it's
themselves.
dumb
They
that
should
this
have
is
gotten
still
rid
a
of him.
problem.
Yeah,
Exactly. And so, speaking from a business sense, putting all that aside and assuming that had the world done what it should have done correctly, he would be gone already. But in a normal instance, it's like you can't right before a merger, in the process of merger, is not the time to be changing hands, basically. So I understand from a business standpoint why he's still there for that and staying through the merger. Morally, I don't understand why he's still there, but still. And so the thing is, yes, that's what I immediately was like. I was like, thank God Microsoft has taken over. Bobby Kotick's going to be gone, and hopefully some real change can start taking place. Because that's the thing. If he was left in position of power, and the whole thing was, oh, he's going to closely monitor the changes and make sure that these cultural shifts happen. And you're just like, dude's been running the company since its beginning. He knew about a lot of this stuff. You really think now is when he's going to start changing his ways? Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
So, like, obviously, no one thought that that was worth anything, and just like, oh, we're being better, quotes. No. So I was immediately selling it, like, great, that's awesome. He's gonna be gone because there's no way, especially that Phil Spencer is gonna allow who he would be reporting to if he stayed, because now Phil
Sweet
Spencer is now the
justice.
CEO of Microsoft Gaming
Yeah.
and that new reorganization. So
You
all
mean
Activision
noted
Blizzard will be
murderer Phil Spector? Who
Did I say Phil Spector,
No,
or did I say
no,
Oh,
I
okay.
always say Phil Spector because I'm like, yeah, Phil Spector of Microsoft, and then you're always
was like,
it's
did I
Phil
say it wrong?
Spencer. No, but in my head, it's still like Phil Spector, noted murderer.
Right. But so anyway, like just from comments that he's made, especially when the scandals at Activision Blizzard passed, I was like, there's no way he's going to let this stuff continue. So as far as a company healing and going on the correct path toward healing, I feel like this is a good step for that. Now, the part about that really fucking sucks is that Bobby Kotick is still going to get a massive payday once this is done. So that's very frustrating to hear.
Yeah.
That, and just annoying. But the good thing is, I guess, he'll be gone, and like, what's he gonna do next? I mean, granted, he can just sit on his riches for the end of the
Yeah.
day and just live his life, but
But
like,
people like him
hopefully
are
this
never
removes him.
satisfied. Yeah.
Exactly. But hopefully this like relegates, and like especially his shittiness, because like it came out within the last week too, that he wanted to try to buy, he wanted Blizzard Activision to try to buy Kotaku and PC Gamer to
Which
try to
is
start
so
like turning
stupid.
the public opinion and like do puff pieces to make them look better. And
Yeah.
so that didn't work out.
Disgusting.
And then he's now trying to like spin it from his point of view. Is like, oh, this isn't about the scandal. It's just about us being adapting to the changing times of game development.
Everybody knows
Bullshit,
what it's
dude.
about. Yeah, we
It's
all
out
know
because
what's happening here.
because of your shittiness. So
Oh my god.
there's a lot to it, and yeah, there's a whole question still about like what happens now. Everybody's like, what happens to Call of Duty? Which then Phil Spencer has come out and said that it's our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he says we're going to honor all current agreements for stuff like that
Until they expire. All
until
of
they
those
expire.
contracts expire.
What does that look like
eventually. Yeah.
exactly? What does that look like for the next release? That of Call of Duty, the next whatever that's going to be. Will that be Xbox PC exclusive? It's very interesting too, since for years now, PlayStation has had deals with Call of Duty where they or Activision stuff to get like certain things faster. Like I remember, like they had a whole mode, I believe, for Modern Warfare 2019. They had a new mode for that, or a map in it, one of the two, that was completely exclusive to the PlayStation for a year. And then it would go to Xbox and PC and all that stuff. They've had agreements like that for a while. So it's now funny that they're completely in the dark on this. And now they're the ones being like, please let us keep Call of Duty. I mean, I think Warzone and everything will regardless always stay, because it's already, I mean, I know they're all already multi-platform, but that one especially feels like it will regardless always stay multi-platform. I will be interested to see, like you're saying, what's it going to do for Overwatch 2? What's it going to do for Diablo 4? And all that stuff. There could already be agreements in place for those, so those games could be okay. But what's next? Like we already know that with Bethesda, Starfield is going to be a Xbox PC exclusive. So we'll have to wait and see how it all falls out there. But still, big move by Microsoft, and the reason that they were able to grab it is pretty crazy. That it shifts up the gaming landscape so much, and we'll just kind of have to see what happens from here on out, because there's still a lot of time to see how it's all going to shake down. The deal probably itself won't even be official until next year, late next year, maybe at that. So it's going to be a little bit of a road, but we've got all the time in the world, I guess, to sit back and watch what happens. So
Yeah, the other thing that we kind of talked about a little bit on our Discord, and that is really my overarching feeling about the whole situation is I don't want video games to become the next Disney. I don't like all of these massive companies merging into an even more narrow, singular. It's a monopoly. I don't like the monopolization of any industry. It's bad to see. I do think that it's bad for competition. I know lots of people are going to be like, oh, the free market, whatever. Shut up. It's bad for competition. You don't like to see it. A lack of competition leads to stagnancy, and it leads to everything being the same. And that's what I don't want. I don't want to see the gaming industry just become, it's already a lot of the same.
Right.
With trends, it already becomes very samey in a lot of ways. So I don't love, I actually hate that the deal is going through at all. I feel like they should definitely remain separate companies, and I don't like to see it. But on the other hand, what a great opportunity to play more indie games and to not give your money to any of the above. Indie games for life, baby.
Well, and I think that's too partially why it is still undergoing such those regulatory investigations and stuff to make sure it's not falling inside. I mean,
But
as much as these
that's
things
the
do,
thing.
it'll still go through. But
It'll
it's
still
like,
go through. Like, this happens all the time. Anytime a big company announces it's going to buy another one, the government is always like, oh, we have to make sure that it's not going to violate
sure?
free. Yeah, they're like, are you sure? And then they always clear it because those people are getting paid.
Well, it's
They're
like when
getting
Disney,
paid
it's
massive
Disney and
amounts of
got
donations and charity for basically letting these things slide.
and what was the big one that just happened? Disney just got 20th Century Fox. So like that was a huge one that that they got another one of those, and Disney's sucking up properties all over the place.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's gross.
It's definitely a thing of things turning towards centralization in that regard, which is a little worrisome to see where that's going to go. But there's still a lot of great indie stuff popping up here. A lot, like you were saying, a lot of good stuff for us to go try out. And hopefully, though, like I hope another side effect or side conversation I've seen going along with this too is like how now people are hoping that like this will mean Call of Duty will no longer be an annual release, that they're going to actually like take their time and like change that stuff up. Will they? I don't know. I mean, if
I would be
anything,
very surprised
I
if
would be
that
surprised
happens.
too. It's way overdue for one. If you look at the current state of Warzone, even right now, like with how just like not good it is, in the bad state it is in. So it's like, yeah, you need to take time and actually develop these things right and implement changes, in a slow, methodical way to make sure that the best rollout is done possible. So, who knows? We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. But especially with such a big grab and with a company that has so many titles that have been around not only but like for a long time,
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
like
going to be interesting to see.
mainstays,
Yeah, I mean,
mainstays of gaming.
Starcraft, Diablo, yeah, World of
Yeah,
Warcraft. Like it's just going to be a little bit. It's going to be crazy to see how that all shakes up and changes things around. But
yeah. This
I
is
think
neither. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was just
No,
gonna
no, no,
say. I was just
please,
say
you
again
first.
to reiterate though. It's really glad, and I really do hope that one of the biggest changes of this acquisition and merger is that Activision Blizzard gives its shit together and gets cleaned up and gives the people who work there a good place to work and a
Yeah,
safe place to work. So hopefully
that would be the
that will be
ideal.
the big end result from this as well.
Yeah, we can dream. This is a little off topic, but something that you said kind of reminded me of this.
Yeah.
I know that you were interested in Battlefield 2042.
Mhm.
Did you wind up getting it?
No, I played the demo just for a little bit and was kind of like,
Okay.
it's not really grabbing me. And then I'm glad I didn't because it was not well received.
Yeah, in other news, Battlefield 2042 has been released and it is apparently so I saw this on Twitter just before we were recording.
Yeah,
Uh they're thinking about maybe making Battlefield 2042 free to play
I did
to
see this.
boost the player base, which is like, wow, your game is so trash you can't even get people to pay for it. That's crazy
Yeah,
to me.
I
Like
know.
another
Like,
one. You would think that studios would have learned by now to stop doing this, and yet they keep putting out these
I know.
garbage games that don't function, that don't work. I don't get it.
Like, yeah, I don't either. And and I understand. Like, I know Halo Infinite is going through some growing pains right now because they're doing something different for the game. Where like they're just now doing a battle pass system for it. They are doing it as more of a free to play model on the multiplayer side. So I know that you have the War Zones, the Apex Legends, the Fortnites to kind of see how they balance some things out. And I will agree. Microsoft should have taken a few more notes in how they rolled some of the stuff out in terms of like content for their pass, how you gain items for all that, the speed of which you do that. And they've been making slow and steady changes along the way. But I don't feel like that stuff is fundamentally there and I'm not a huge Battlefield fan, so like forgive me if I'm speaking slightly out of turn here, but this is not like this one is still like you paid for the multiplayer, you paid for it with the base game. So it's not like there are the multi transactions out the kind of thing. It's not like a battle pass system of a game. So it's like, and plus that's been Battlefield's bread and butter. And it seems like of doing these like outstanding multiplayer uh experiences. And so I'm kind of like, yes, this one from what I've heard and even from what I played a little bit in the demo, it's like in the beta and stuff, like it's buggy. It's like got issues like the
Yeah, that's what
server
I'm
issues.
saying is
And it's
that,
just like, how do you not fine
yeah,
tune that? And I understand, like, I know they even delayed it. We'll delay it longer
yeah,
because the more you delay it and the better it's going to be, then the more people are going to stick around if it's actually a good game there.
yeah.
Like, and so now you're just throwing a band-aid on it, which I mean, granted, EA had to do that with Battlefront 2. They had to slap a big old band-aid on that one to
But
get the
that's
players
not
to come
even a
back to it.
granted. That's a they should have learned. They should
Yeah.
have learned from their past mistakes to not do this
Oh yeah,
anymore,
like
and
I'm not
instead they
like I
keep
don't
doing it.
understand. I don't understand why EA like why a company as big as EA is still making that same level of mistake of being
Yeah,
like
I don't know
this game's
either.
just not ready, but hit that big old green button anyway because
Just
we're
go
going
for it.
live, baby.
I do think I just want to point out, so on Google right now, Battlefield 2042 only has a 1.8 out of
Ooh.
5-star rating. And so the ratings itself can definitely be, this could just be rating bombing. But an additional only 35% of users liked this game. That's the one that I trust more is do the actual players
Yeah,
like it or is this just review bombing?
right.
Both of those seem to line up along with all of the other reports that it is a buggy mess. So it's just not doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, yeah, that's crazy that they're having to consider that for a Battlefield game of being like, we got to save this. Let's just make it free. And I mean, if they make it
And in
free, sure,
such
I'll try it out again. But like, you
and in
know what I
such
mean?
quick turnaround, it
Yeah,
was so broken that they're like, can we even salvage this?
yeah,
That's where you got to go, oh god, it must be really broken.
yep. So that'll be curious to see if they actually go through with that and what they do to actually make that become free to play. Because yeah, you're right. That's just nuts that it was their determined course of action for this. So crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
It's wild out there right
I
now,
know it
people.
is crazy things going on in the video game world. But speaking of that, what have you been playing lately? I know we were kind of out a little bit. We did our catch up for the end of the year, or in 2022, kickoff of appreciate our most anticipated games with the Triple XP guys. But what have you been actually playing lately, Mogan?
I have finally, so after we recorded with Triple XP, I did feel bad that I hadn't finished Kena Bridge of
Oh,
Spirits
you should.
because
I mean,
you nominated it for your game of the year, and I was
yeah,
like, I should have finished that game because I started it and we did our first impressions. And
uh,
then the holidays started up and I just kind of fell off a lot. Oh, and Animal Crossing New Horizons expansion came out.
yeah,
So my attention got totally diverted and I was just hanging out with family, typical stuff. So I basically stopped playing it entirely and then had to do that thing that I think we talked about in that episode where you come back to a game after such a long time away that you're like, I don't remember how to play. I know that I have like powers and stuff, but I don't remember
yeah.
any of them. So I had to relearn how to play Kena. I should have just restarted. I didn't even make that much progress initially, so I should have just maybe 10 or 15 hours because I was going really slow.
Yeah.
But I didn't restart. I picked up back where I left off, and I'm not sure how far I am, so I'll put it in vague terms so that we can save this for when we do our full joint review.
Sure.
I'm at the third spirit, like in the process of getting that spirit's
Oh,
relics.
okay.
How far am I?
Third spirit. Okay, so you did
I
the
did,
one the one in the village,
yeah, I
and
did
that you did
Taro,
okay, you did Taro, then
Adira, the
Adira.
blacksmith with like the
Okay.
big, I think she's actually a woodsmith, excuse me.
Okay.
And
And
now I'm
then
at the third one, which is like the head of the village.
oh, okay. Okay.
How far am I?
He's the
Like
final
percentage?
spirit.
Oh, he is. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah, yeah.
pretty close to being done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
assuming
Yeah,
I can beat
you're
him.
you're close. Sure.
I just got one of his relics. I just beat the hunter boss. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
that
Is
one
that the one with is that the bow and
sucks.
arrow guy?
Yeah.
Yes, that was a
Is
good
that the
boss fight.
worst one? Because it wasn't the worst one in terms of how many tries it took. I actually think I beat him on the third try,
Okay.
which for me, with where I'm tracking in Kena, that was good. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I actually beat him on the third try, but it was an annoying fight. That one was
Um,
so annoying.
okay, I'm trying to think and not hopefully give anything away too soon. Have you fought the boss that there's like a stone column in the middle and you have to throw a bomb on it,
Yes,
blow that up?
That's Adira's final
That's
fight.
Adira's final
Yeah,
fight.
it
Okay,
is.
that one was hard. That guy drove me nuts.
I
But yeah,
uh,
I'm trying to say, I'm trying to remember of the ones. What's the name of the final guy? I can't remember his name now.
Toshi.
Koshi, Koshi,
Toshi.
Toshi,
Yeah.
Toshi. His three that you had to fight first. I want to say,
Because there's the mask maker, the
mhm.
hunter, and the
I think Mask Maker was harder for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I just started
Um,
Path of the Mask Maker, so that's like where I'm at right now.
okay. I think that one was harder for me, but I still like wasn't as hard as like that one boss that I was talking about, the like
Adira.
corrupted wood. Yeah, Adira's
Yeah, okay.
final. He was definitely harder, but
Oh, really?
uh, just strap in. That's all I
Okay.
gotta say. Just
Oh,
strap in for the last little bit of this game. Well, I mean,
damn.
to be fair, we were talking. I was playing with you and your brother the other night. We were playing Rocket League, which was super fun to jump into. By
Yeah,
the way,
really
hadn't played
fun.
Rocket League in
We're
years, and that was so
bad.
fun. Oh,
We're
very bad,
not
but
good.
it was fun.
It was fun.
But I was saying then to you guys there that I think the final boss of Kana might be one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought.
Which, on the one hand, that does worry me. On the other hand, I beat the Path of Pain, so I'm
This
not
is true.
that worried
Like,
about it. I'm sure, I have no doubt that it's hard. Based on what you and Andrew have both told me, I'm sure that it will take me many tries to beat the
yeah.
final boss, but it also took me, what, over 15 hours to finally both learn and then beat the Path of Pain?
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
do it. I'm not
Well, I
worried
mean,
about it.
and also, I gotta say too, like I'm not out there playing like the Dark Souls and the Bloodborns and
Oh,
stuff
me
like that. So
neither.
so my like huge like when I think of a hard boss, I'm more potentially usually thinking of like a platformer or something like that, or
Yeah.
or like from a RPG something like that, that aren't the super precise combat stuff kind of bosses. And I feel like Kana kind of bridges toward that a little bit,
Yeah.
or sways a little heavily towards like the Soulsborne combat style. So like I would say that's why I just say like is harder. Like I would say the harder boss is like the hardest boss I think of all time is that what did I just say? His Holiness Escobar from Blasphemous. Oh my god, so long to beat that one. Then I think it's Kana, and then I think it's like the second sister or Terran Malikos from Jedi Fallen Order. Those two were
Interesting.
super hard boss fights.
Okay, good to
So
know.
so just so you know, it's up there in my
Yeah, gotcha.
toughest boss ranking. So and it was one too. Like my buddy Michael had already beat it when I got to the final boss in Kana, and I was like texting him. I was like, "How the hell do you kill this?"
I mean,
Because
not gonna
it's
lie,
just
for multiple bosses in Kana, it's not that I think I can't beat them on my own. I'm just like, what are the strats here? So I've gone to Google
right,
multiple
right.
times just to be like, okay, let's see how other people did it. And then I'm like, oh, so I was doing the right thing. I was just missing the inputs. I just literally had to get good.
Yep, yep.
So whatever.
Yep, it's just one of those games you got to get good at, and
I
it took a
really have
long time for me to get
still.
good.
So even so, you mentioned that Adira was really hard for you. I have
Yeah.
still not fought a boss in Kana that I thought was harder than the very first one, Taro. Taro was still the
Taro was
hardest
pretty
for me
difficult. Yeah.
because he's so fast.
Yeah.
I could not hit that bastard. So Adira was slow. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, this plays to my fighting style because I'm slow, she's slow, we're on even ground.
Right.
When it was me slow, Taro very, very fast, that was not in my favor by a lot. That
Yeah.
one took me easily the most tries so far.
He's gonna be a toughie. He's gonna be a toughie for sure. But that also reminds me of you fighting those. It reminds me that I'm still trying to complete my first run through Hades. I'm like 60
Oh,
something tries in.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
getting
God.
ridiculous at this point, and I'm getting very frustrated and mad at myself. But I was playing it the other day, and I had made it to Hades before. Slight spoilers, everybody. Sorry for a game that's over a year old. Apologies,
And that
but
it's in the name.
it's in the name.
It's called Hades.
It's very assumed that you're probably gonna fight him. But anyway, I made it to him once before, and I was like, yes, finally. And then of course he like killed me pretty quick. But I got him down to like half his health bar, and I'm like, I can do this
Ooh,
again. I just gotta find a consistent weapon build that I want to go off of. But using the spear, having great success. And I got to him the other night, and I killed him. And I was so excited and I was so happy. And I turned to Sam. It was like 11:45 at night. Like we were in bed, just both of us playing our Switches because Sam started farming again in the old Stardew.
nice.
Started a new farm. So
Yeah,
we've been
yeah.
co-op switching for a little bit. And so we're laying there in bed and I beat him and I'm so happy. I turned to her and say, I did it, Sam. I beat his ass. I finally beat this game. And she knows my struggles with it. She knows my struggles with Hades. And all this stuff. But so I'm like, hell yeah. So I like click through their dialogue options that come up right after I beat him. And he has a second phase.
Yeah, he do.
And he
He
fucking
got that
killed me.
second phase. The only reason I know that he has a second phase is because I've watched Bro Mogan do runs. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yep. Whenever I'm
Then he killed
watching,
me.
yeah, and then he kills you. Whenever I'm
Oh
watching
god.
Bro Mogan play any game like Slay the Spire or
Yeah.
Hades, whenever I'm actively in the room watching the action and, as Andrew says, hecking him,
Well, I mean, yeah, you do that
as
to me
one
whenever you
does,
watch
yeah.
me stream.
Well, he's like, if you're not here heckling me, I win. But whenever I'm there, lose, lose, lose.
Man,
And
maybe I
then I'll
need to.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave the room and go make tea. And he's like, I just beat it. And I'm like, what? What's happening here?
Oh
Oh
man, it's a
boy.
fun game, but man, I'm having to like just I'll like do try like a 2 runs a night or something like that, or like one and a
Yeah.
half runs or something like that, just trying to like finally get it so I can just say, okay, I did it, I beat the game, and then move on to something else. But because like I've posted in the Discord stuff not too long ago, I finally beat another Civ game. I played another one and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually finished it, which is exciting. I didn't just get to the industrial age and be like, this is boring, I'm bored now, and restart. But I played as Mongolia. It was awesome. Played to my strengths well of wanting to build massive trade routes all over the world, so that was a lot of fun. But now that I beat that, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm forcing myself to not play Civ again and just to immediately not jump into another game of Civ on the Switch. So I've been playing other things on my Switch that I've been needing to get to, meaning that I both played and completed, because I didn't realize it was such a short game, I should have played it a long time ago, Firewatch.
I saw that you finished it, and I was like, yes, he did it. Congratulations.
I know.
I really want to hear what you think about it, but I'm not sure that we have enough time for me to like get. Well, maybe we do. What were your
I
thoughts
think we
and
can finish on
feelings?
this. We can go ahead and
Yeah.
finish on this. I will say it was really good. It didn't hit me though quite as much as I thought it would. Like
Interesting.
I enjoyed the, for one, I thought it was because like I remember you talking about it, especially with Henry's relationship with Delilah and them
Yeah,
talking,
yeah.
and then but then Henry's past also with his wife who has Alzheimer's and everything at a very young age, like 38, I believe, is
Yeah.
when she was diagnosed with it. And so he comes out and does this. For those of you who don't know, Henry then escapes that for a little while because his wife goes back to live with her parents in Australia, and he takes this as a chance to like take a summer, go work in a firewatch station out in the Shoshone National Forest, and just kind of try to escape from his problems for a while. And during the course of that, he like builds this friendship with his another fire watcher, Delilah, who's in another tower. But and then you just have to like go off and explore, do some park rangery things and whatnot throughout the game. And there's a deeper mystery at afoot, perchance you could say, that I'll leave up to
Indeed.
spoilers. Because again, this game is literally a 4 hour game. Like
Oh, it's short. Yeah.
it's so short, which I
I
didn't
think
realize.
I think you
But
finished it a lot faster than I did. I'm
I
generally the slower
definitely
of us. It probably took me at least 8 to 10 hours, but I was
I
derping
definitely
around and
didn't.
stuff.
Yeah, I didn't derp around. That was the
Yeah.
because, and that's one of the things that I kind of got into it because I knew there was some stuff that you could find. And I will say, had I been playing somewhere where I would have gotten achievements for some of those things, I probably would have shot for those. But since I was playing on my Switch, I kind of was just really into like getting through the story and everything,
Yeah.
which I thought was good. I really enjoyed the voice acting done in that
Oh
game.
yeah,
Both
it's
Henry and
really
Delilah
good.
were fantastic. And but I did find myself, even though it was so short, by the time I was in the like last 30 minutes to an hour of the game, I was like, how many more times do I have to walk these damn paths of this forest in the
Really?
same places? I kind of legit got a little tired of like retracing my steps so much.
Huh.
Because I felt like you had to, I don't know, there were some times when it would be like, oh man, I got to walk all the way back to my lookout tower, but then it would go ahead and just end the day automatically because it's takes place over the course of 79 days, but it jumps a lot. You're not playing all 79 days.
Oh
Like
yeah. No, no.
I think you play like the first 3 and then it jumps to day 10, then it's day like 33, then it's day 60 something, then it's day 75 and you're like, "Oh, okay, we're here now." But I don't know. It just I had fun with it. I enjoyed all of the like figuring out the story and going out through that and then enjoying the performances of Henry and Delilah. But I don't know. Outside of that, I don't feel the need to go back and play it again. I don't feel the need to like really go and like explore it out and everything like that because I did just kind of by the time with it, I was like, I've seen what this has, and now it's just like I'm just walking around talking, and I need a little bit more action
You're
sometimes.
you're you're
And I'm
emotionally
not even saying
a desert.
I'm not even
Just
well, but see, but that's not true because games like Kana hit me big time.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just think
yeah.
it just for whatever reason the story of this one in that way didn't connect with me and such, but as well as other emotional games in the past have. But yeah, and I'm not even talking about like action like I need gunfire and I need I need fighting and stuff like that. Like Stardew Valley is a peaceful game, but there's plenty of stuff for me to do in Stardew Valley. This one, like I felt like I just it just felt like I was playing a never-ending fetch quest that did eventually
Fair
end
enough.
after 4 hours.
Yeah.
But still, it just felt like kind of like one long continual fetch quest, and that necessarily kind of that just kind of got a little old after a while. But I did enjoy it as a quick bite-sized game to get a new story, to get one that I had had in my backlog for forever. It was nice to finally get that one checked off the list, and
Yeah.
because it's been one that you've been telling me about, and Zach was
Oh
telling me
yeah.
about too.
Love
Like, oh yeah, you need to
Firewatch.
play Firewatch, and so it feels good to finally check that one off the list. Of that, like I've played Firewatch. The next one like
Nice.
that I feel like I need to play and mark off the list, Journey. I still need to do that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Journey's even shorter.
And like
Journey's an even
I
shorter
feel
game
like
than that.
that's the one that's going to hit me in the feels super
Yeah,
hard because I
it
feel like
probably will.
that
I
one
mean,
will.
if only from a musical standpoint, it's one of
Oh,
those
the
ones
music's
that
so
can
good.
get you just with the soundtrack alone.
Yeah. Soundtrack is fantastic. Austin Wintory was on another level on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of, for whatever reason, I've always had those two games in my head as like must play games, quick, short must plays. And so I got one down. It's time to mark off Journey. And I have Journey. I just need to actually go and play it. So that one's probably the next on my list of a quicker bite-sized game to jump into.
Yeah. Man, so Firewatch was from Campo Santo, the developer and publisher, and they
Mhm.
were working on another game called In the Valley of Gods.
Oh yeah.
That game,
What
I
happened?
I don't think it's been fully technically canceled, but as far as I know, like development has maybe stalled out.
Yeah, it's nowhere to be seen
At one
since it was
point,
announced.
yeah, they announced it back in 2017. It's been
What?
5 years.
What?
It was originally announced back in 2017. Firewatch developer Campo
Oh my
Santo
God.
unveiled In the Valley of Gods. And then this was as of back in 2019, December of 2019, Polygon did an interview with one of their founders, Jake Rodkin. And Jake Rodkin confirmed that In the Valley of Gods development is on hold, but not outright canceled. I think that's just going to lead into a canceled at this point.
Yeah, for
It's been
that
way too
long?
long.
Wow.
And it's not like this is a massive game. They're not making Breath of the Wild out there. So I feel like it's probably never going to come out, which is a shame because I love Firewatch. And I was very excited for In the Valley of God.
Well,
So
because it kind of seemed like it was going
maybe,
to be a similar feel. Like I kind of feel
yeah,
like I want to give In the Valley of the Gods a try because I kind of feel like it's going to be Firewatch but more. So
yeah.
it might be what I'm looking for in terms of more activities to do, and possibly a longer story, more areas to explore, different things like that. So the one thing though about Firewatch that I wasn't expecting, and I can't remember if this is something that you had told me about it or not when we talked about it. I just kind of assumed, I think from like just the art style and maybe that it was, I don't really know what gave me this impression that it was a rated E for everyone kind of game, and it's not.
Oh, no, no, no.
It's a solid rated M. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
Like, and
It's
it's
like not for content, like not for graphic
like
content,
right. It's
but
like
for
language and stuff like
themes.
that, and
Yeah, with
themes.
language
Yeah,
and themes, it's just intended for a mature audience. It's
yeah.
not the
I
kind
just
of
wasn't
game or
expecting that.
story. Yeah, no child would enjoy
No,
Firewatch. No,
no.
no, no.
But like I kind of thought it was just like kind of like a happy little walking sim. Like
Oh, Jared,
you're a fire watcher
you're a
in the
fool.
Shoshone National Forest, and then no, here you go. They're dropping
Oh
f bombs all
boy.
over the
Yeah,
place.
they sure do.
So
All right. Well, so that's just a catch up with us and
yeah,
some major news that's probably going
right,
to define the landscape of gaming for the next 10 years. So, a
yeah.
bit of a mixed bag today.
Yeah, but big stuff happened. We had to talk about it because that's what we love to do here on Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. But with that, everybody, I believe that has drawn this episode to a close. We'll see you all next time. But until then, I'm one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined across the power of the internet by my co-host, Rachel Mogan.
Adios.
We'll see you all next time.